Hello, everybody. My name is Peter Dunn, and today I will be talking about an event that recently took place and should raise some eyebrows about the future of multimedia journalism. As seems to be the case more often than not these days, this event centers on AI. On April 2nd, OpenAI, one of the most wealthy and powerful AI companies in the world, and the company behind ChatGPT, announced that it had acquired a company called TBPN. TBPN stands for Technology Business Programming Network and is a daily podcast that airs on YouTube and X, and whose main focus is on tech, business, AI, and defense. Now, while still somewhat small, its popularity has been growing consistently. On the surface, this might just sound like another business deal. However, looking a little deeper, this deal hints at something what I would consider to be far more insidious. This deal reveals OpenAI's effort to not just release AI tools, but to shape public conversation and perception about AI in general. It also shows that journalism, an industry that is already particularly vulnerable to the capabilities of AI, can no longer be expected to remain fully independent and impartial regarding AI. The numbers behind this deal make this motive crystal clear. OpenAI reportedly paid somewhere in the low hundreds of millions of dollars for a show with only 11 employees, has been around for almost a year, and is only viewed about 75,000 times per episode. You don't spend that kind of money on a podcast because you enjoy the content. You spend it because you want to own the microphone that talks about you. OpenAI has openly admitted this, and they've said this acquisition was all about messaging. Their CEO of applications, in fact, said, quote, the standard communications playbook just doesn't apply to us, end quote. In other words, they need something that looks independent and trustworthy to say what their PR team cannot. The troubling and dangerous part of this acquisition stems from the implications relating to the ethics on which journalism is built. TBPN now reports directly to OpenAI's chief political operative, not a journalism division, not an independent editorial board, but a political strategist. We already have several examples of what happens to independent news agencies when they are acquired by people with agendas. Examples like Jeff Bezos acquiring the Washington Post and Patrick Soon acquiring the Los Angeles Times. Both of them said that nothing would change. They both made the same guarantee that uh, the work produced would be independent, but in both cases, this was not true. History tells us that when billionaire corporations sign the checks, editorial independence disappears. What makes this situation uniquely dangerous is that, unlike Bezos or Soon, OpenAI isn't just a wealthy owner, it is the very subject that TBPN covers. The reporters and the reported on are now the same entity. For the whole multimedia journalism landscape, this should be worrisome. The industry is already being changed dramatically by artificial intelligence with things like AI generated content, automatic reporting, and algorithmic news feeds. Now, though, a new threshold has been crossed with a powerful AI company now taking a direct stake in how its story gets told to the public. If we cannot trust that the media covering AI is independent from AI, then the entire industry is at risk of losing the one thing it is built on and cannot replace: public trust. AI is no longer just a useful tool that is helping build the future. It is now an entity that has bought the right to narrate that same future. Thank you.